अब कुछ बात करेंगे, मिलजुल कर अब काम करेंगे, तब जाकर कुछ बात बनेगी, जनहित की शुरुआत बनेगी। भारतीय छात्र संसद, भारतीय छात्र संसद।
At the tender age of 2, he was recognized as the reincarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama of Tibet. Today, more than 50 years later, he's still carrying the torch of compassion and peace, yet asserting the rights of his beloved people of Tibet. He is Tenzin Gyatso, better known as His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, the spiritual leader of Tibet. The Dalai Lama is an enlightened being who has chosen to serve humanity. In 1959, His Holiness was forced to escape into exile. Since then, he has been living in Dharamsala in northern India. In 1989, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his non-violent struggle for the liberation of Tibet. He has been a relentless crusader for the cause of world peace and has always fought for human rights and dignity. Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad extends a warm welcome to the spiritual leader.
सत्र 8वां। हाँ, भारत कर सकता है।
Elder, respected brothers and sisters, it seems no elder sister, one young sister. Okay, that of course. Brothers, sisters, whenever I give talk or meet with people, I always have the feeling I am just another human being, just like you. I think about 8,000 people here. We all same human being, mentally, emotionally, physically, we are same. And also we all have the same potential for good thing as well as potential of destructive things also there. Now important is we should use our intelligence, our common sense, and with sense of responsibility to cultivate positive emotion, and should increase these positive emotion so that our potential of creativity, potential of construction can go further, right? Can develop. Automatically, more positive sort of energy increase, then the destructive emotions, destructive sort of energy automatically reduce. This is nothing to do with some kind of sort of the holy thing. Simply, everyone wants happy life and successful life. The basis of happy life and the basis of successful life very much depend on our inner strength, inner peace. Money, power, and also some extent the materialistic oriented modern education alone may not bring inner peace or self-confidence. So, as a human being, firstly, in order to build one happy individual, sensible human individual, and happy family, happy community, happy nation, and ultimately happy world. So, whenever I talk, I always make clear these. These sort of awareness about inner sort of ability or potential. There, basically, everybody have same potential. Now, the organizer told me, actually, 1996, 96, they first sort of, they started this work. I also involved. He mentioned, I forget. I can't remember. In any way, you see, since this is such sort of, the idea, it's a very, very noble idea. So naturally, more and more people now develop attraction and involve. So now here, huge sort of gathering. Wonderful. It's wonderful. Now, Kasati, 67. Yes. Ah.
Yes, India can.
Oh. Now about India. Now, 1956, I came to this country on Buddha Jayanti celebration. And of course, since my childhood, I had some kind of sort of interest about Gandhiji. And on one occasion I met in my dream Mahatma Gandhiji. I think that time my age perhaps around 10, like that. Then 56, Gandhiji, of course, no more. I never sort of have the opportunity meeting personally Mahatma Gandhiji. But 1956, I met quite a number of Gandhians, the freedom fighters. Really, they carry sort of, struggle, something, right way. The struggle fearlessly, selflessly, with vision. I always admire these people. So, and then also 56, I had sort of opportunity to visit Indian Parliament. 1954, actually, I become member of Chinese sort of Parliament, People's Congress. So I found big contrast there. In Peking, our meeting was very sort of very smooth, and everything very much disciplined. And sometimes the leaders long take, because of the leaders give long talk, speech, and many of the parliament members, some are quite old, so they usually enjoy sleep. Not much interest. But then, Indian parliament, full of noise, looks, you see, no discipline. And many of the members of parliament really proud to criticize government, and Pandit Nehru personally also. I very much impressed. So the same year, 56, while I was in New Delhi, the Chinese Prime Minister, one of great leader, Zhou Enlai, came. And I had a few occasion meeting in Delhi. So I told Chinese Prime Minister, I found there is big sort of differences. Then I mentioned our parliament meeting in Peking and Indian parliament meeting. This big difference, as I mentioned earlier. I mentioned these things. Then the Chinese Prime Minister responded, oh, since you left, our parliament sort of, the way discussion of parliament much improved. He mentioned like that. Otherwise, no further explanation like that. So I'm very much impressed. Yeah. So, yes, okay. This is okay. Now, I will practice mindfulness. Okay. So, then 1509, as the picture shows, I escaped from Lhasa and took political asylum in this country. So, firstly, India is the home of Buddha Dharma. I am Buddhist. Since my childhood, I study Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist teaching, and particularly those excellent, profound texts which wrote by Nagarjuna, Arya Asanga, Buddhapalita, Aryadeva, Digna, Dharmakirti, Chantakirti, all these great Indian philosophers, Indian thinkers, mainly I think educated in Nalanda institution. So I consider myself as a student of these great Indian philosophers, Indian thinkers. So, India, our spiritual home, India. So anyway, refugee, lost our own country. But anyway, we found very happy new home. That's India. So since then, I took sort of advantage India's freedom. I moved different part of India and also outside India. And of course, I constantly sort of listen BBC, what is happening on this planet. So eventually, I determined, now rest of my life, I will dedicate mainly two things. One, promotion of human value, which I mentioned briefly before. That's the source of our success, sort of our individual happiness, and also source of our physical health. More peace here, more self-confidence, much less stress, much less anxiety. With that, blood circulation becomes normal. No worry about high blood pressure. And every night, I usually have 8-9 hours sound sleep. No sleeping pill, no tranquilizer. That's my own sort of experience. Here, more calm mind, more self-confidence. And you really get inner peace. There's immense benefit to one's own sort of life, including health also. So, ultimate source of happiness, calm mind. Calm mind, where self-confidence there, calm mind come, because less fear. Self-confidence will not develop money, power. That one level, more superficial level, yes, you get more self-confidence with money, with power. But still, very wealthy person, very powerful person, in deep inside, full of fear, also possible. So, real source of the fearlessness is self-confidence. Self-confidence on truth, honest. Truthful honesty comes once you develop sense of concern of well-being of other. Then you get more self-confidence. Because once you develop the attitude, all other sentient beings, and particularly, say, 7 billion human beings, all want a happy life. All have same right. All are part of human community. Human beings are social animal. Once we develop that kind of sense of concern of their well-being, then there is no room to cheating, tell lie, harm, or bully, because you respect them. That brings here more of self-confidence. With self-confidence, you see, we can talk frankly, honestly, truthfully, nothing to hide. That's, I think, the psychological sort of system, the mental system. More truthful, more honest, more frankly speaking, you get more self-confidence. That brings trust. Trust is the key factor to reduce fear. With money, with power, some extent, some trust may come, but that's a very, very superficial trust. So in any way, the India's 1,000-year-old concept of ahimsa. Ahimsa means here motivation level, compassionate motivation. Then all because of the action of speech, action of physical action, verbal action, mental action, all these action then become non-violence. Anger, hatred, suspicion, too much competitive sense, competition sense, then your action looks non-violence, general action, but because of motivation, want to cheat, want to bully, want to exploit, want to take advantage on them. And all these actions, no matter what appears, but essentially violence. Then also, like some you see people already mentioned, corruptions. Also is a form of violence. So therefore, India's concept of non-violence very much sort of based on compassionate, warm-heartedness. So, motivation side, compassionate, sense of concern of others' well-being, respect other, that automatically bring action of non-violent action. Even some disagreement, without losing respect other, with respect, argue, discuss, like that. One time at Vani, she told me, this I think come later. So I very much sort of attracted India's 1,000-year-old ahimsa. This one thing. Then, in this country, again, 1,000 years, many different dharma tradition developed. Before Buddha come, already there are different sort of dharmic traditions already there. Then about 2,600 years ago, Buddha came. And also Mahavira came. I think generally these two great sort of Indian teachers are really propagator, promoter of non-violence. So in this country, eventually, beside homegrown different religious tradition, from outside, from ancient Iran, Zoroastrian came this country. Very well settled in Bombay, very near here, from here. Around 100,000 population, very small community, but no danger of threat. Very happy. And number of Parsi participated sort of at the national level, a lot of sort of works in university, in economy field, like Tata, and in military field and other field. Such small community, yeah, very safe. That's India's greatness. So then Christianity come, Islam, Judaism, all world religions, all major religious world religions is eventually come here, well settled. So last 1,000 years, I think at least 2,000 years, 2,000 to 3,000 years, beside homegrown religion, all world major religious tradition all come here and live 1,000 years happily. Of course, some pocket here and there, some problems happen. It is understandable. The several crores of people, some mischievous people, take for granted some mischievous people always there. But overall, I think this country really wonderful, 1,000 years kept the sort of harmony among different religious traditions. So these two things, wherever I go, I talk the value of inner sort of value of ahimsa based on compassion, then religious harmony. So I describe myself as a messenger of India. I really feel proud. Last few years, now I'm urging to our Indian spiritual leaders, I, as a messenger of India's tradition, that level, I'm quite active promoting these two things, ahimsa and religious harmony. So, Indian gurus, actually my boss, I'm messenger. So messenger, making some effort to promote these things. Now my boss must take active role. Promotion of ahimsa, promotion of religious harmony. These two things are India's tradition, but very much relevant to today's world. Therefore, you should, particularly the religious leaders, should take more active role. It's not sufficient just to carry your daily sort of routine, something like ritual or some ceremony, recite some Sanskrit word and fire puja, just to carry your own area. Not sufficient. Must come out. And firstly, talk to Indian masses. What's the real meaning of Dharma? Not just a ceremonial way. Change here. Cultivate positive thing and strengthening these basic good potential. So, these two things I really feel India really can make great sort of contribution for the rest of the world. Many problems, if you sort of make known more people the essence of non-violence, particularly through education, not through preaching, but through education, and also religious harmony, not through preaching, but through education. I think India really, within this century, India can make some significant contribution in order to tell others, first you yourself, you see, pay more attention about these things. This is one thing. Then me personally, so we Tibetan, more than 1,000 years, eventually follow Buddhism. That's one of the India's religion. So I always describe Indians is traditionally our guru. We are Chala. Our relation is something, relation between guru and Chala. So, firstly, we are student of this great nation. Then me personally, I describe myself as a son of India. Why? I think about 2 years ago, I met some overseas Chinese sort of medias, overseas Chinese. Very good, wonderful. I always meeting with Chinese. They also are brothers, sisters. So One reporter asked me, why you describe as a son of India? I think he felt that maybe political sort of something significant. And I told, frankly, truthfully, every part of my brain filled by Nalanda thought. Then this physical, about 2 years ago, so I told them, last 50 years, this body, 50 years, major portion of my life, when I left Lhasa, 24 years old. So, last 50 years, this body survived by Indian dals, Indian rice. So I consider myself as a son of India. I told them. It seems he understands that. Okay, this is not a political sort of statement. He understands that. So as a sort of chela of ancient India, as a son of India, I really feel great honor to have this opportunity to share, to interact with several thousand young Indian students. I'm very, very happy. Whenever I meet the youth, particularly youth below 15, 20, 25, I usually telling them, my generation, now here, these, sorry, too long. Sorry. I have come for the question answer. Oh, yes. So, my generation, now who are in 70s or even 60s, 50s, that generation belongs to 20th century. Now these people, below 20, 30, even 30, you truly belongs 21st century. 20th century, gone. Whether happy one or miserable one, already gone. Although 20th century, really very, very important century of human history. But the 20th century become century of bloodshed, century of violence. According to some historian, in that century, over 200 millions of people killed through violence. If such amount of violence really changed the world, brought better world, then some justification. But that's not the case. Therefore, violence actually bring more problem, not solve. So now, from our past experience, now this 21st century, now only 11 years passed, right? Remaining nearly 9 decades, right? Almost 9 decades yet to come, right? So you, a people or generation who belongs to the 21st century, now you have the responsibility to build happy world, peaceful world. Whenever we face some problems, some disagreement, try to solve through talk, through dialogue, not use violence. So you should carry the sense of responsibility to build peaceful world. I think I may not see that kind of world. But you can develop genuine peaceful world of compassion, world of peace, world of sort of sense, full of sense of brotherhood, sisterhood. Within this century, I think very possible. Here, India, logically, must be leading nation to build that kind of century. I already, as I mentioned earlier, you already have 1,000-year-old sort of tradition of non-violence. It's something in Indian blood. The seed of that concept is there. And the religious harmony. So now you should take more active role. First within your own country, then beyond your national boundaries to whole world. I think India have real great potential. For that reason, now you need vision. Vision. Sometimes my sort of criticism, when many occasions I participated in some meeting, some sort of thinkers or some philosophers, some politicians or some social workers, they quite often, you see, they are just, their whole mind thinking their own area. Even not beyond their own state. Right. So that I think should change. Indian vision must now reach global level. That's I think very, very important. You have the potential. Now firstly, this country, Mahatma Gandhi ji, implement 1,000-year-old your tradition of ahimsa in his political struggle. He utilized that very successfully. So at that time, when Gandhiji there, maybe some people consider India's sort of non-violent sort of struggle maybe passive, signs of weakness. But then gradually, like Nelson Mandela and many others, really sincerely follow the Mahatma Gandhi's example. Now the concept of Mahatma Gandhi's ahimsa, I think, almost worldwide. So, that's one factor. Then second, this country, since you got independence, democracy, very, very stable. More than 60 years now. Very stable. So, and then another important factor is this country is the most populated democratic country on the whole world. Very successful. So, you Indian, should feel more self-confidence. And now in order to make contribution for whole world, you need 1,000-year-old Indian spiritual sort of wisdom or mind, and then plus modern technology, modern education. That's I think very important. Must combine. Only modern education, as I mentioned earlier, modern education more or less materialistic sort of oriented. This is half. Material development need, because we have this body. Spirituality is very necessary because we have this mind. Body and mind, two separate things. The healthy mind need certain training of mind. Very important. Healthy body, healthy physical, yes, material development, highly sort of relevant. Like that. Then, I think that's all. So please, and then, frankly speaking, sometimes, then one person you mentioned, I fully agree. India, actually, land of farms. Right? So real transformation or real change of India must start in rural area. It is not sufficient. Big cities like Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Hyderabad, now even the Pune here, I think a lot of new constructions. That also important, but real transformation of India must take place in rural area. Education facility, health facility in rural area must develop. And then farm system must be more mechanized or more modernized, like Japan. Very small land. Even using this size of land, they cultivate quite effectively. So you can do that. So plus you see India's 1,000-year-old rich spirituality, rich philosophical thinking, and then plus material sort of development and also technology combined, I think you really can lead the world. This I really feel.
छात्र संसद भारतीय छात्र